For centuries, the Galactic Union had held its grand assemblies. Every empire, kingdom, and republic that counted itself among the stars attended, from the shining courts of the Helion Dominion to the rigid halls of the Carthan theocracy. Every voice sought to be heard, every presence noted, every voice except one. Earth never came. At first no one cared. Humans were newcomers, late to the interstellar stage, a species born on a small blue world in a forgotten arm of the Milky Way. They were known for their strange independence and their refusal to follow standard galactic norms. The Union sent countless invitations. None were answered. A decade passed, then another, and the pattern remained unchanged. Humanity stayed quiet. The Council grew restless. The archives were filled with unanswered transmissions, unread diplomatic proposals, and empty seat placards bearing one name: Earth. When questioned, the ambassadors of neighboring systems only shook their heads. Trade ships sometimes met humans at the edges of their solar system, but they spoke little and shared less. They paid in heavy alloys and rare isotopes no one had seen before, and when asked about their homeworld, they smiled, thanked the traders, and left without another word. To the Union, such secrecy was an insult. Perhaps they believed themselves above the Council, said Grand Envoy Drell, a voice of silver authority across a dozen worlds. Let them be reminded. No world thrives outside the unity of the stars. And so a mission was sent. It was meant to be simple, a diplomatic fleet of 20 ships, bearing banners of peace, sent to Earth's coordinates. They expected an escort, perhaps a greeting station. What they found instead was emptiness. The Sol system was silent. No orbital platforms, no defense grids, no fleet. Even the planet's surface seemed oddly quiet, cloud-covered and calm. The fleet sent probes, and those probes vanished the moment they entered low orbit. Then came the warning. A voice, human and calm, echoed across every channel. Turn back. The envoy commander ignored it. Identify yourself. We represent the Galactic Union, the voice repeated. Turn back. When they refused, light tore across the void. From nowhere, beams of energy streaked through the fleet. Each strike was precise, disabling engines and weapons without destroying the ships. Within seconds, the mighty fleet drifted powerless. Then, as if the stars themselves bent to command, hundreds of dark shapes appeared behind the moon. They were ships, human ships. But unlike anything the Union had ever seen, each vessel bore a black hull that swallowed light, and none emitted the usual signatures of energy or propulsion. They floated in perfect formation, silent, unshakable, their mere presence pressing against the minds of those who beheld them. A single message followed. You were warned. The Union fleet was released, damaged but alive, and sent home. The report caused uproar. The Council demanded answers. Where had Earth obtained such technology? How had they built an entire defense armada unnoticed? No one knew. Soon the whispers began. Rumors spread through trade routes and mining colonies. Captains claimed to have seen ghost fleets near human territory, vast groups of black ships that moved without detectable drive trails. Some said Earth had vanished entirely behind an artificial shroud, a hidden barrier of energy that blocked all scans. Others swore they'd seen human vessels outside the Milky Way, charting regions beyond the Union's borders. Still, the Council refused to act. Let them hide, said the envoys. Let their isolation consume them. No species can thrive alone. They were wrong. 100 years passed. Humanity remained silent, unseen. Yet its influence began to ripple through the galaxies. Trade networks reported mysterious technological leaps. Faster processors, stronger alloys, more efficient engines, all with unknown origins. Empires rose and fell on the back of new inventions, unaware that each breakthrough bore hidden traces of human design. Then came the First Rift War. An extragalactic incursion from the void beyond the Council's borders tore through 3 sectors in days. The invaders, known only as the Riftborn, wielded weapons that folded reality and devoured planets whole. No fleet could stand against them. The Union was desperate. They called for aid from every world. Once again, Earth did not respond. But this time, something was different. As the Riftborn advanced toward the galactic core, the stars above one of their captured worlds shifted. Every sensor in the region failed at once. The invaders' warships halted, scanning for the anomaly. Then a shadow fell across their armada. It was not a moon. nor an asteroid, but something vast, something built. A structure larger than any known station, sleek and dark as voidstone, its surface rippling with lines of silver light. Its sheer size dwarfed the rift-borne fleet. A single human voice, clear and cold, filled the void. "We told you we avoided your meetings for a reason." In the next instant, the sky ignited. Beams of condensed gravity tore through enemy formations, collapsing ships into silent spheres of light before vanishing entirely. The Riftborn tried to retreat, but wherever they fled, more human ships appeared. They came in perfect silence, sleek destroyers, colossal carriers, and weapons that defied galactic science. Within an hour, the Riftborn were gone. Not defeated, erased. When the Union fleets arrived days later, all they found was the ruin of the invasion and one message broadcast across the system. It was written in simple galactic standard: Earth does not seek the Council, but the Council must now listen. The message repeated for days before fading. That was the first warning. Months later, every major world in the Union awoke to the same sight. High above their skies, hanging silent and motionless, were massive black vessels, thousands of them. Each bore the same symbol, a white circle crossed by 3 silver lines. No weapons fired, no messages came. They simply hovered, watching. Panic spread. Some governments launched their fleets in fear. Their ships were disabled instantly without damage. Others tried communication. There was no reply. The watchers remained. The Council gathered in emergency session. Grand Envoy Drell's successor, a cautious diplomat named Wren, stood before the assembly. "They have placed their ships above our worlds, not as conquerors but as sentinels." "Then we are occupied," another shouted. "No," Wren replied. "We are being reminded." He played the original human message again. Earth avoided every galaxy meeting. Now they have come not to attend, but to warn. But warn of what? The delegates asked. No one knew. In the weeks that followed, human ships occasionally moved, silently repositioning, never attacking, never communicating. Some hovered above cities, others above oceans or barren plains. On one mining world, a human ship projected a light beam into the crust, neutralizing a hidden rift-borne device the locals hadn't even known existed. The world's inhabitants began to understand Earth wasn't preparing for war. It was preventing one. Records later revealed the truth. Humanity had seen what others could not. Centuries earlier, their deep space observatories had detected anomalies from the galactic fringe, echoes of the rift-born, signs of a coming wave. While the rest of the galaxy debated politics, Earth had gone silent to build. They had forged weapons not to conquer but to endure. They had hidden their fleets to watch the stars and calculate every possible threat. The 1,000 ships now above the worlds of the Union were not invaders. They were warnings. To the Union, this revelation was humbling beyond words. For eons, they had seen Earth as defiant and proud, yet all along humanity had been the unseen guardian. Still, fear lingered. The human fleets were unmatched, their power incomprehensible. So the Council sent one last envoy. A single vessel, carrying only one diplomat, approached Earth's outer perimeter. There, beyond the orbit of Neptune, he saw it. A station the size of a continent, rotating slowly against the black. Its surface shimmered with the same white-silver lines as the warships. It was not merely a command post, it was a fortress, a hub, a mind. He hailed them. "Human Command, this is the Galactic Union envoy seeking dialogue. We come in peace." For a long moment there was silence. Then the same calm human voice answered. "You are heard." The envoy hesitated. "Your fleets, your presence have shaken every world. They see you as a threat." "We are a reminder," the voice said. "For too long the Union believed strength was born from gatherings and speeches. You waited for consensus while dangers grew in the dark. We watched, we warned, and we prepared. Then why reveal yourselves now?" the envoy asked. "Because the Riftborn were not the end. They were the beginning. The next wave is coming, and this time it will not stop at your borders." The envoy trembled. "Then help us fight it." The voice paused. "We already are. Those ships above your worlds, they are shields powered by our cores. They will activate when the storm arrives. Do not interfere. Do not approach. Just survive." The transmission ended. The envoy's ship turned back, carrying the message that would change history. Across the galaxy, fear turned to resolve. The Union began to unite not through policy but through purpose. Science councils worked to decode fragments of human technology, not to copy but to understand. Armies began training together, and for the first time, worlds that had once fought each other now worked side by side. Yet through it all, the humans remained unseen. Their fleet stayed above, silent and still, as though watching the stars for signs only they could read. Decades passed. The storm never came, or perhaps it did, and Earth stopped it before anyone could know. On the 1000th anniversary of the first contact,